there, I am back with another flashlight review, and today I have the Sofirn SP36 to talk about. This is a collaborative effort between Sofirn and the folks at Budget Light Forum, or BLF, and there have been other lights of this nature as well in the past, which I'll actually reference in a couple of minutes here. But the Sofirn is what you might call a soda can flashlight, just because of its size and shape, and many others have been made in this fashion as well. It is about but it is exactly 4.9 inches long, so it is relatively compact as far as that's concerned. The tube part here is 1.7 inches in diameter, and the head portion is 1.9 inches. And with three 18650 batteries already installed, it is 15.49 ounces. So it's not light by any stretch of the imagination. It has quite a weight to it. It is, however, waterproof, underwater to 1 meter, and it is impact resistant to 1 meter as well, and has reasonably good beam distance. The LEDs, of which there are 4, are rather deeply set here within the bezel, and they are XP-L2 LEDs. As you can see from the bottom, it is flat, so it stands very well, and as you roll it around, you'll see that it's USB rechargeable. So the port is right under here, and it is a USB-C. And as part of the accessories, they do give you a charging cable, which is right here, and it is a USB-C, so it doesn't matter which way you plug it in. And there are also some spare O-rings in the package, as well as the user manual, which is right here. The package itself is just like a plain brown box, at least that's what I got mine in, so there's not much to talk about there. As per the batteries, let me just unscrew the head here so you can see that. And it takes three 18650s. I believe they do recommend somewhere that they be protected batteries, but you can use IMR unprotected if you wish. Just be careful, because I'm not sure. Some flat tops may or may not work. I had some Panasonics which work fine, which have a very, very slight type of a button on them. But these work exceptionally well, and there's a spring at the bottom of each section here, which you really can't see. But that's how the batteries fit in, all the same. And there are good threads here on the top portion as well. The one switch does all the controls, and everything on the light is user-defined, and that is due to the NarsilM software that's in it. It's NarsilM version 1.2, which is very similar to some other lights that they've made with BLF, and that would also include this one, the BLF Q8, which I have reviewed in the past as well. This is a much larger light, but this is 5,000 lumens and this is 6,000 lumens. So this is a little bit brighter and a little bit smaller. But this too has the NarsilM firmware in it. And there's a link in this review where you can go and read about that to know what kind of customization you can put to the Sofirn. The link actually goes to the Q8, but it's virtually the same version of firmware. Anyway, one of the things you can change in it is the fact that the side switch illuminates in green pretty much all the time. And I didn't want that because I didn't want the batteries to drain prematurely, so I deactivated it, which is one of the things you can do. You can engage or disengage just about any feature of the flashlight you can imagine. And I mean virtually anything. Right now, as you get the light, it is already set to a ramping mode, and that's what it'll do right now, is simply ramp up and down with each press of the button. Let me just turn a light out here so I can show you that. And there are lots of flashlights out there these days that do the ramping. This is, as I say, exceptionally bright. Right now, of course, it's, I mean, as you keep pressing the button, it'll go up and down. And then if you release it and leave it for a few seconds, it'll continue in the same direction you were going before. But anyway, here we are on the top output, right? The top output. And it's almost hard to look at against a white wall. It's so bright and white. So it is a very nice clean beam, and it starts to get warm after only a few seconds on the turbo mode. But I'll press it and turn it down a little bit. But it'll go all the way down to practically nothing. So dim right now I can hold it in front of the camera. It's like less than a lumen. So that's as far down as it'll go. And of course, bright, so brighter than car headlights at the top portion. There are also flashing modes, which you can engage or disengage. There's strobe. There's SOS. There's a bike flash, and I'm not sure if there's a beacon. There might be, but you can engage or disengage all those, and the way you get to them is to go into turbo and then double click. Now, the instruction manual gives you all the information, of course, you need. It tells you about each setting and what you can do within that setting. And for instance, it'll also give you battery voltage. So in other words, if I wanted it to tell me the voltage of the battery, I just give it 3 clicks, and then it'll blink out the front, in this particular case, the battery voltage, by counting 3 and then pausing and counting up to 8, as it is right now. So right now the battery is at about 3.8, and that's what is blinking out to me right now. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 3.8. And that's just one of the settings you can do, and one of the things you can either engage or disengage if you so desire. Mode memory, you can turn that on and off. You can also set the modes within the mode setting, so you only have full brightness all the time, or you can engage any of the other available modes in different orders and so forth. But of course, you can leave it in ramping, and you don't have to do that at all. This is for people who want complete customization of their flashlight. If you don't want to customize it at all, then you can leave it in the default ramp, and then all you do is press the button and press the button and turn it up and turn it down, and you know, but you still have the option of turning on and off some of those other settings, which I talked about a moment ago. And then further on, it goes on to explain how you engage and disengage everything within the mode set as well, and how you set all the different outputs for the mode set. So basically, it can pretty much do whatever you want it to do or don't want it to do, and that's the user-defined part of the light. Let me right now, though, take it outside and show you what you can expect to see in the dark with this incredible flashlight. So let's go outside with it. I hope that was intriguing, and if you want to see some additional outdoor shots, you can go to my written review at lightsandgear.com, where I've got some additional outdoor photos. But basically, that is the Sofirn SP36 in a nutshell. There is so much to know about this light. If you're familiar with some of the other BLF lights, like the Q8, then this won't be terribly surprising to you if you know something about the firmware. But if you don't, by all means read about it just so you can get a better understanding of what it can do. It really is, though, the kind of flashlight that you actually have to use to properly understand. You can read about the firmware, but until you actually use it, it's sort of hard to imagine the flexibility of it. The Sofirn SP36 has been the focus today, and if you want to read more, see more, and whatnot, and you can visit my lightsandgear.com site and do that. There's also, of course, a link below where you can pick one up from the folks at Gearbest, and that link is my written review as well. They were nice enough to furnish me with the Sofirn SP36 for test and review. So thanks for watching today. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and let me know if you have any questions or comments on this particular light, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one.